I'm Tane, the lead guitarist.
Tirade, rhythm guitarist.
Ricky Dyer, vocalist. Leon, and I'm the bass player.
Sam Phillips on drums, and we are Kaosphere.
Beautiful, guys. Thanks for joining us this evening.
No worries. Thanks for having us.
My pleasure. So, Kaosphere will unleash your debut full length in Scars We Trust on Friday, May the 3rd, guys. Like, not far away now. How you feeling? You nervous? You anxious? You excited? You couldn't give a fuck? How you feeling?
Relieved. Looking forward to it. Been a lot of hard work gone into it, and it's time to chill back and actually, get to sort of see the fruits of our labour, I guess.
Been over 2 years in the making, so yeah, a lot of build up and a lot of work.
Yeah. And so far, you've released the singles Chainbreaker, Warcry, and May I. So, would you say those three are a good sonic representation of what to expect?
Sorta. There's still a lot of groovy tracks on the album, and they all have their differences. I mean, obviously our flavour is still there and ingrained in it, but there is a lot of difference in some of those songs.
Yeah. I think that's mainly because we actually wrote the whole entire album itself as a whole pile of singles.
Okay.
So we basically went into the studio, would write and record one song over a month or over 2 months, and then finish that, go to a new one, and we just worked our way through it like that. And occasionally went back and actually re-recorded a couple of the songs. We actually spruced them up a bit more.
Yeah. So tell us a bit more about the album from a musical point of view and what you were going for with it then.
We didn't actually have a specific goal at the time. We just kind of write what we felt, what we kind of vibed at the time. And, we'd get some music, and then we'd show it to Ricky and we'd see what sort of vibe he got from it. And then he'd kind of, write out the lyrics based on the feelings that came from that song, the vibe that was created from that song.
Basically, yeah. I went through and I find a hook. That's the first thing I search for. I found a hook, and then I base my vocals more around that.
I think more than in the past, we've got a big wide range of genres, and that the songs have a big amount of varying dynamicism.
That's not even a word.
Dynamics.
So there's thrash bits, there's death bits, there's new metal bits, there's groove metal bits. The songs generally have catchy hook choruses, and then they go back in the band punchy, and then they push forward hard.
But we have a lot of different influences, so we listen to a lot of different styles, and that's why we're kind of really hard to define what genre we even play, because we don't even know. We
just heavy.
Play whatever we kind of feel.
So for fans that have been with the band since the beginning, guys, like how would you say that In Scars We Trust differs musically to your debut EP Forsaking Shadows?
Oh, definitely a lot more time was spent on it. Concerning the EP, yeah.
Bit of production.
I think we learnt a lot in the studio, and as we built these songs in the studio, so we actually got time to learn what sounds, all these different sounds and frequencies, and how they actually work. Whereas with Forsaking Shadows, we sort of built that in a garage and then went in there and punched it out over a weekend, you know what I mean? So very different kind of workings.
Which led to more complex arrangements.
Yeah,
the songs are now more complex.
Like we said, we went back several times too.
Yeah. We just
re-recorded and redid a few parts in a few places as well. So it was a thing of having actually more time, I think. Spent a lot more time doing this than we did the previous albums. So we could put a lot more emphasis into it this time.
Yeah. I suppose the big question is, will old fans of the band still like the new material?
I think so. Yeah. I can't see why they won't.
Still follows the same sort of hooky.
Yeah, it's still
that we do.
It's still Kaosphere.
Still Kaosphere, yeah.
It's always. I think it doesn't matter. Even if we tried to copy someone's music, it would still sound like Kaosphere. I
Yeah.
don't know why, but we've even tried that in the past to copy someone's, like, say, a genre, metalcore or something like that. And we think we're playing metalcore, and then we play it, and it's like, nah, man, it's just Kaosphere.
Which is a good one to have.
Because there's a bit of death metal in there, there's a bit of new metal going, and all the different genres all seem to just come out all at the same time.
Yeah. Now, Ricky, you've experimented with some clean vocals as well on this one. Like, why is now the right time to introduce that element to Kaosphere's music?
In my previous life, in my old band, Esophagus, which obviously started in New Zealand, that band started with cleans. It was very based on 90s music, and it had cleans all through it. And as we started Kaosphere, it was sort of like a heavier project, so I never really brought them out many times, but it's always been there. Mm-hmm. And some of the feelings and grooves we got over the songs as we were making these songs, they sort of felt like it, they needed it, So I was still, shitting myself, I suppose, and worrying about how they're going to sound and what other vocalists will think and whatever. But in the end, it's like, oh well, went all right.
Still sounds good to me.
You guys have been playing a few shows lately, so you've had a chance to road test the new songs. Like, how's from stage? How's it look out in the crowd? Like, does it look like people are getting into them?
What do you reckon?
You've been at the shows, Chris.
You've been at a show, mate.
Put it back on me, are you? I haven't heard anyone.
Because of all the lights, remember?
I haven't heard anyone complain about them. But from my point of view, they sort of. You're right what you said before. Like, it seems like you've lived with these songs a bit longer, so you're more comfortable playing them. And it's sort of, I think because of that alone, like it comes through when you play it live. Like, people can see that you're more invested in this music, and they can hear it as well.
Yeah. Well, we've had good feedback so far from the ones we've actually played. Pretty good feedback so far.
I think it's just I find with our music, even our older music, they grow on people, and that's kind of something that's good in music, like if you listen to it and then listen to it 10 years later and you still enjoy it.
Yeah.
Well, that's the trick of it all, isn't it?
I'm just glad to see people moshing out at the shows, From back on the drums, I like to see people moving and going crazy and giving the energy back, and I think we're putting it out there and people are jumping around.
Yeah, very cool. Now, as well as releasing In Scars We Trust on Friday, you're also dropping a new single and music video for Bring Out the Dead. So tell us more about that song.
Well, it's pretty much Ricky's lyrics were written to that one.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, pretty much how that song started is we actually got a creepy little track, like a sample, and it's creepy little like tones and like almost sounds like circusy sort of things, and and then when we wrote it, I was just like feeling the vibe of kind of like that kind of dark sort of song, but creepy as well, like that,
Yeah, so basically wrote the lyric about pretty much being dead inside, and of course that worked with the video as well, which was pretty good. Yeah.
All those new metal influences, that creepy, twisted, using some unusual sounds.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you mentioned the video too, like it's fucking awesome, and it's a little bit scary as well, if I have to admit it. Like, it's got some devilishly cloaked scary fuckers and lots of flashing lights. Like, what's actually going on? That's you guys.
Yeah. Well, pretty much the whole entire intro to the actual song itself sets the scene, because it's so eerie and it's so creepy. And I pretty much got this vision in my head of what this video kind of could play out as, just because I'm into poltergeist programs, ghost busting stuff and all that kind of stuff and paranormal, and it just played right into my imagination. And we decided this one that would actually more base it around props. So that really helps. So it's got all sorts of moving props and scales and Ouija boards that move and stuff and all that kind of stuff. So that's pretty much how that whole thing came about. Was just me being into the paranormal. I just got engrossed in it and just went with it, mate. That's how it worked out.
And like that video and then the other ones you released so far, like they've all been of a really high quality with good storylines and good visuals. And I know you guys are doing a lot of that yourselves. So how much time and planning goes into something like that?
Usually not very much, actually. The actual videos themselves tend to actually write themselves.
Right.
Because we tend to follow the storyline of what the lyrics are actually about. And usually one of us will come up with an idea, and we all add to it, add little concepts and ideas to the video, but one of us will come up with the main concept, and we'll just go, yeah, that's great, let's go with that. And that's how they pretty much came around. And it's the same with the new one, Bring Out the Dead. I just got absolutely involved with that one. I think pretty much the guys just went, just leave you, mate.
Run with it.
I spent literally hours and hours and hours building props.
Yeah, right. Well, the shows, man, because it looks fucking good.
Yeah, and I was just absolutely engrossed. So, yeah, that's how that one came about.
Then we generally film them over the course of a weekend.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Yeah, cool. And I believe you're planning to release a few more singles as well, but just as visualizers. Is that right?
Yeah. We like the rest of the album being released as visualizers, but we do intend to actually make a few more videos as well for some of the songs from the album, so that they'll be coming later on down the track.
Yeah, due to the support of our label, X Music Australia, we're going to have some really cool visualizers for some other singles off the track, and anything else we'll be doing. Yeah,
they'll be ready to go on May the 3rd, so they'll drop when our video on that drops for Bring Out the Dead.
Yeah, of course we'll be doing more videos throughout the year to follow up, because like we said, with the whole album being like singles, pretty much all the songs actually could suit a video. So we just we'll just keep going with videos as well. Still a few more videos to come yet.
Now that speaks to the quality of the album itself, I guess. Like a lot of bands will drop 2 or 3 singles from an album and that's it, but you guys are confident enough to do more visualizers up and more stuff about it. So yeah, it shows that the quality of the music is definitely there, because you wouldn't be wasting your time otherwise.
No, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. There's only a couple of what we'd probably call B-sides. Otherwise, all the rest are almost single quality. So, we might as well just release them all as like videos and singles.
Yeah, why not indeed? So tell us about
not all of them, though, but
not all of them. So tell us a bit more about the cover art for In Scars We Trust. Like, it's pretty cool to look at.
Well, the cover art we just kind of thought was a good visual representation of what the album's about, and it's one of those covers you can kind of interpret like a lot of different ways, like however you kind of see it. Like it's kind of like, well, the album's In Scars We Trust, so it's basically how what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So we thought that was a good representation of that. It's like a figure with light being emitted from it, and yet it's bleeding out and scarred, So that's basically, it was the perfect way of representing what the album's called and what it's about.
Yeah, right. Twisted as fuck, so someone's got a vivid imagination.
Yeah. We're not sure everyone will kind of sort of understand the image, but it's basically what it represents.
Everybody will get their own interpretation.
Yeah, and that's cool. That's the idea.
Which is the idea of artwork.
Art is subjective, so everyone can interpret it how they interpret it.
Yeah, cool. And I believe you got some special pressings, like visuals on the discs and the singles as well. Is that right?
Yeah, some basically the same sort of artwork, extra artwork that we've got as well. Artwork that we used on T-shirts as well, all that kind of stuff. So we've got a whole range ready to go for merchandise. And
so the CD will have a booklet which will have fold out and various pieces of art, some which will then be on the CD disc, and some will be on the T-shirts and other merch. Yeah. We've basically got a range of art that the artist did in order to relate to the album and the theme and the themes of the songs to create sort of like a visual storybook for people to have something to look at and associate with the messages.
Very cool. So this is definitely one that you should buy the physical copy of instead of ripping it for free off Spotify.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's going to be a beautiful CD. Yeah.
Yeah, shit hot. Now you got a show coming up on Friday night as well at Tribe Clubhouse in Redcliffe. So tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, look, I tried to get a few shows happening, due obviously because the album's dropping. So, and I've been hearing really good things about the Tribe Clubhouse, and it's like one of those little cool little places, and it's free entry, you know, and I think that's awesome in our today's world. There's not many shows you can go for free these days.
Yeah.
Mm.
And it's there's no stage. It's like ground level, and sometimes like
More personal.
Yeah.
sometimes those shows go great.
Great.
You know what I mean? Like they
Sometimes they're the best ones actually. The really personal. You get personal with the crowd. You get right into the crowd and everything. Just vibe, the energy and everything.
Yeah, it's a good little place.
Yeah, like a party vibe sort of place. So yeah, we're definitely looking forward to that show.
Yeah, and that's got Zagtar, Chimera, and Magnetron at it as well. Like I say, I've been to Tribe Clubhouse before, guys, and it's just a cool little venue. Like it's
We're looking forward to it.
yeah. Then after that, you're playing with Melbourne death metal outfit Maruthan over 2 shows at Moe's Desert Clubhouse on May the 30th and the Back Room in Brisbane on May 31st. Like that should be brutal. I reviewed their album the other week and interviewed them, and those fuckers are brutal.
Oh, great, good. It's going to fit in great with us, I think.
Yeah, I think so. They got not good visual show too. Like they can get a chance to check them out. Like they've all got a bit of a backstory going on with their different characters and shit. And it's it looks
Cool.
like a full on performance. So anyone around for those 2 shows should definitely check them out.
It's great to have a band that's you know, putting so much effort in and coming up from Melbourne, and we get to play with them and you know, see a really good band. And so I really recommend people come along and check that one out.
Yeah, looking
Nice.
forward to it. It's
And
going
then,
to be awesome.
And then June the 15th, we're back at the Back Room, and for Jack Lane's show, memorial show.
Uh-huh.
That's gonna be sick. I don't know if you guys know from Deterioration. Obviously he passed away last year. Jack did, so couldn't say no to that one.
Yeah.
And July the 22nd, I think the Bright Side we're there. That's a festival. That's a Fastlane Records festival that he's putting on there. And then I believe I'm trying in the mix of organising one on the Gold Coast for our official album launch party.
Wait, yeah. Well, there's a fair bit coming up that we probably can't talk about yet because it hasn't been finalised or announced. But anyone wants to stay up to date with what's happening with Kaosphere and perhaps buy a copy of the new CD, where can they get them from?
Well, they can pretty much just mail us, mate, straight through Facebook, all that kind of stuff.
And also from the X Music official
And
website.
X
Yeah.
Music official's website as well. They
Yeah.
can buy it through there as well.
But they can get it from us at a concert or
Definitely.
X Music X Music's you know, official website.
Definitely hit up our Facebook because we'll be pumping it over the next month, and they can buy it off the labels
But
cartel website that we'll link on the Facebook page.
But they can always message us and we'll link them straight to the you know, to the mail order link so we can get it out to them.